If you've been watching our channel for a while, please like and subscribe. We love getting your comments and questions and getting your support.
Yes. Today we are talking about cooking as an au pair. What is cooking as an au pair? What does it mean? What kind of food do you make? We're going to talk about who used to cook in the family. We're going to talk about
whatever. Because I will admit that my family was like, can you cook? Before I started working, and I was like, yeah, sure. And then I got there and was like, what the heck is cooking? You can't cook. And they quickly figured out that I couldn't cook. And but you know, you learn and you figure it out. And now I can only cook French things, so I can't even cook and sustain myself properly still.
You do make a great quiche. So.
Make dank quiche, I'll tell you that. We're gonna start out about talking about our experiences and what we both had gone through, and then maybe talk about certain things that you can cook and things that we wish we had known.
In my experience, the first time around, my host family asked me if I could cook, and I said yes, because obviously you want to sound as agreeable as possible. You want to get the job. And I could cook, like, you know, I've done cooking lessons in school. I could cook fine enough. It was reading French recipes that I could not do. So that is something that you might want to consider. Maybe get a decent Google Translate app on your phone, or take a dictionary downstairs with you. That is what I wish I'd known. And when it came to cooking for my first host family, I was pretty much given really delicious ingredients. I would throw them into whatever pot. I would follow the recipe completely, and it would usually turn out really well, because
just like recipe verbatim, you just followed it.
Exactly. So that was fine.
And you had to translate it.
Yeah. But for my second host family, it was more a case of coming up with ideas myself, which I was terrible at. So they also wanted me to write down things on the shopping list that they could buy that I would then make. I was a substitute mum for whenever they weren't there. So I would be the one that would be in charge of, like, what I think we want to eat on Wednesday. And yeah, me and the host kid would usually be the only ones eating, and he would usually only want pasta or pizza, so we would usually eat that. That was cooking.
So my experience was pretty similar to yours, maybe a little bit more intense. My host mom would give me recipes, but text them to me.
Oh my gosh.
And she would give them to me like right at the end of the day, right before I had to start cooking. So I didn't really have time to nicely, relaxingly translate all the words, and I had to just dissect the vocabulary and figure it out. As I was like in the park with my kids, I would be freaking out about the dinner that I was about to cook when we got home. And luckily I had older kids who could help me out, who cooked better than I did at the time, and I figured it out. And she also used the same recipes every week or every 2 weeks, so once I did it a couple times, I got used to it. And like I would cook food like quiche, omelets, crepes we would do, carrot râpé, which is very French. We would do same cucumber salad, and we'll also be posting more about certain recipes that you can use for cooking for French families particularly. So now we thought we'd give you some specific tips that we wish we'd known when it comes to cooking French recipes, or just recipes in general, before we became au pairs. The first is, don't freak out if you've kind of stretched the truth about you being able to cook, because we both did, and it's not a deal breaker. If you don't know how to cook, your family's not gonna be upset. I mean, they might be upset about the fact that you blatantly lied if, you know, you really don't know how to cook at all, but it's something that you can learn really fast. And when you're 18 years old, I don't think your host parents are gonna find it unacceptable that you don't know how to cook. Yeah.
Maybe just practice some recipes before you move abroad, and then be like, when you get there, if they're like, why can't you cook? You can be like, well, I can cook quiche and omelette and just random things.
Pasta, I can use a microwave. I can like unfreeze things, because while you're learning, there's also a bunch of things that you can buy that are frozen food, and you can survive on that for a while you're learning to actually cook.
Saying that you can cook and maybe stretching the truth there is not the same as stretching the truth about driving or something. Like it is something that you can actually quickly pick up, and it's not going to endanger anyone unless, you know, you reheat rice 4 or 5 times.
Number 2, again, I have another one, is if you're an American, maybe try to study the degree change between Celsius and Fahrenheit. I've earned many a chocolate cake and burned just everything my first couple weeks there. And so this is like a random number that I have in my head, but 180 degrees Celsius is usually a good temperature to put the oven on too.
That's usually what most cakes like cook at, I would say.
Oh, interesting. Yep, I cooked all the cakes at 180 degrees, learned that fast.
Number 3, as you are given recipes by your host family, we suggest maybe writing them down in English afterwards, and so then you can kind of remember and recall exactly what you were supposed to be making that day and whether it turned out well and what you could have changed, so that next time you're asked to make it, you can get out your recipe book and you can follow along a lot easier and a lot faster than trying to decipher the French. I would also suggest doing something that I stupidly never thought to do, which was, as soon as you see a French word in a recipe that you don't know, write it down and try and like learn that word, because you know, once you've remembered them, recipes aren't that difficult. They don't change their words that often. They change the ingredients but not the instruction words. So I would definitely recommend doing that. Unless you're with a host family like my first host family, who give you a different recipe every single day, and it's great to eat but it's not so great to cook.
Number 4 is know that French cooking culinary vocabulary is very unique. I mean, think about the vocabulary that we use in English to describe cooking and food. It's like, so when we describe wine, tastes are oaky and woody and chocolatey, and things are refined and, I don't know, cut in, what is it?
Diced.
Julienne cutting and diced. Those are vocabulary words that they're also using in French, but obviously if you're not in a culinary institute, you're not going to identify those words right off the bat.
Yeah.
So don't freak out. It's a really great learning experience to be able to have to translate these recipes, because you wouldn't learn these words any other way unless you're forced to. So in a way, be grateful for the vocabulary that you're getting, and know that it's not vocabulary that you use every day. So don't get frustrated when you can't understand, and yet you've been in France for what, 10 months. I still don't understand. I've been in France for years.
So that is all for now. If you have any cooking tips, tricks, or
horror stories,
please leave them in the comments below. We would love to read them and we will respond. Also, please like and subscribe. We really appreciate it.
And follow us on Twitter at aupairs.com.
That's all for now.